Andy Katz with a Pac-12 March Madness preview. Teams that I think will be in the NCAA tournament from the Pac-12. The bottom of the Pac-12, a little bit of a rebuilding situation. There's one team in that bottom group that certainly could climb up, and that's Washington. So maybe I'm not giving the Huskies enough credit, but for these purposes, I think the Huskies have a lot more work to do. So let's start with teams that I think will, kind of weird to think that Arizona would be in this group, but it's almost an entirely new roster for the Wildcats. So we got to wait and see how that all plays out. Utah with Tim Allen and Rylan Jones, they certainly are going to be somewhere on that bubble. USC, maybe you could make the argument they should be higher up, a team that's definitely going to be in the NCAA tournament, but they did lose Onyekwe Okongwu. Now, they have Evan Mobley coming in, and that'll certainly help, and maybe that'll push them higher, but right now I've got them on that bubble. So Colorado's certainly a team that could be much higher, could be a team that you should put in lock status in the NCAA tournament. But the Buffaloes give me pause because there's been a number of times in the Pac-12 where Colorado has lost games that they shouldn't. That's going to be up to McKinley Wright IV, their lead point guard, their senior, to make sure that doesn't happen this season so that Colorado stays above this bubble line. All right, so two teams that I think for sure going to the NCAA tournament. I just don't see them in the Final Four. Oregon and Stanford. Oregon consistently gets better and better throughout the course of the season. Dana Altman takes a collection of players. They could be transfers. They could be traditional freshmen, guys that have redshirted, JC, doesn't matter. He gets guys to play for him, and they get better and better as the season progresses. But they don't have Peyton Pritchard, so a new point guard means new problems for Oregon. At Stanford, a lot of talent. Oscar da Silva, he's back. Zaire Williams comes in as a highly touted recruit. But Tyrell Terry is gone, so they're going to have a new playmaker as well. So there are two teams that I see out of the Pac-12 making a run for potentially a Final Four berth. Arizona State and UCLA. UCLA essentially brings back their entire roster for Mick Cronin. They bought into how he wanted to play, so that means defense. They were one of the best teams on the West Coast before everything shut down last March. Tiger Campbell is back as their lead guard. Chris Smith, one of the best forwards in the country. UCLA is going to be pretty good. Arizona State, though, my pick to win the Pac-12, has a team that Bobby Hurley desperately wanted to build in Tempe. Remy Martin's going to be a first-team All-American in the preseason. Alonzo Verge Jr. is essentially Robin to Remy Martin, Batman. That's a 1-2 punch. And then you bring in one of the best freshmen in the country in Josh Christopher. The Sun Devils have all the pieces, not just to win the Pac-12, but to go on a deep run and potentially challenge for the national championship.